Few more days before I leave my age of 30s. I'm heading into 40s, so I'm not that young. So I'm really looking back on my own journey to share with you, especially when you're in your 20s and 30s, the top 7 investments that you need to make. I'm really looking back at my own journey, and just in case you're also someone who's of an older generation, share your wisdom, because in our community, we really have some younger people who can really take some of the advice and tips and avoid some mistakes that you may have also made before. Charlie Munger, who recently passed away, he had this very important saying which I'd like to start this discussion with. The best thing a human being can do is to help another human being. So that's why we're all here to share some wisdom, and today I prepared 7 investments that you do if you're still in the age of 20s and 30s. Hi guys, welcome back. Without further ado, let's start with the first thing that you need to do, that is to invest in your education. Now, we are not like in third world countries where education is not of much use. In Singapore, qualifications can get you jobs. I'm in the finance sector, so I do know in the banking world, you need titles to help you promote if you want to become a fund manager and stuff. And if you're in your 20s and 30s, you really have much more energy than someone who's in the 40s. It's not a joke, and even if you feel tired, there are definitely some who are still using their energy to go do extra classes at night. In this age, you have more time. Some may not have kids yet, and even if you have kids, they are probably still young. So once again, you definitely have more energy than in your later years. Now, regarding this point on education, many make this mistake, which is to treat education and learning as a means to get to a job. Now, that only relates to formal higher education. But more often than not, education is more than that. It can be from experts, courses, workshops, like my Georgetown Finance Summit I shared on investing tips and retirement planning tips. There's a lot of education, good ones, that are outside of a normal classroom setting. And with that point, I'd like to bring on KFC founder. I guess you already know, he started KFC at the age of 65. And it goes to reinforce that learning is a never-ending journey. Continuous learning helps you become smarter and better in your day. And being curious and being hungry for more information keeps you relevant in the new society. So again, make education and learning a habit. Let's move on to the second investment, which is in cryptocurrency. Cryptocurrency is the easiest way to invest in the growth of blockchain technology. The common question is, what is blockchain technology and what is cryptocurrency? Are they the same? Factually, cryptocurrencies are digital currencies that use blockchain as a ledger for storing records of crypto transactions. So to invest in the growth of blockchain technology, cryptocurrencies represent a very simple vehicle to get there. Having said that, I cannot advise on cryptocurrencies, and I agree with Mr. President that cryptocurrency is speculative right now. Once we understand that, we need to avoid the biggest mistake that many young folks in their teens and 20s take, which is to take too big a swing into cryptocurrencies. I've seen young adults who have opened crypto accounts earlier than a proper stock brokerage account, simply because they may have seen advertisements that hype crypto to be life-changing or even a solution to build wealth, instead of something that can swing speculatively. As what Mr. Ravi Menon has mentioned, many investors in cryptocurrencies have suffered significant losses. Take that advice to heart. The point I'm making about cryptocurrency as a young adult is to keep up to date with emerging blockchain technology. 10 years from now, we don't know how cryptocurrencies will be and blockchain technology will be. The risks may be very different. The jobs in these areas might also start to open a bit more. The third investment to make, which is something that I'll definitely prefer for most, is actually to invest into the equity markets via stocks and funds. The great part about investing early is not just on the compounding front. It is again to make the mistakes early, because that's where you learn the fastest, correct? Refine what approach you would like to build your wealth with, whether it's trading or investing. I've gone through that process myself, and I've also realized what suits me and my personality. The common mistake about investing into equity markets is that one is usually too impatient in approach and looking 10x too quickly. This kind of content usually get the eyeballs, but for someone who is new, I'll suggest to taper down the expectations, invest for the long term. Just in case you're looking for a good platform to use, let me introduce Moomoo. Do you know that 1 in 4 Singapore residents use Moomoo's platform? If you want to make progress in investing, it's crucial to take action and educate yourself early. Again, what I've mentioned, Moomoo provides you a convenient way to learn about investing with free investment courses on various topics such as stocks, ETFs, options, funds, and technical analysis. Additionally, Mumu's classes are designed to be completed in 1-2 minutes each, making it easy for you to learn with whatever spare time you have. When it comes to charges, Mumu SG actually provides commission-free trading for Singapore stocks for up to 1 year and zero commissions forever for US markets, making it effectively one of the most cost-effective platforms to trade Singapore and US stocks. And the reason why I like Mumu's platform is because it provides free access to research tools such as analyst ratings, financial data, revenue breakdown, and financial indicators for every public traded company. Right now, Mumu SG is offering generous sign-up deals, which includes a 5.8% guaranteed return for up to 30 days on your first 80,000 that you park inside Mumu Cash Plus. In addition, if you were to sign up today, you can unlock this bundle, which is 4 fractional shares containing some of the US most popular stocks such as Nvidia, Tesla, Apple, C, and NIO. And the good news doesn't stop there. If you sign up today with my special referral codes, you are entitled to receive up to $20 cash coupons after depositing $100 and performing one buy trade. So in total, this is a bundle of $680 worth of welcome rewards. So that's why I strongly recommend it to you, and look for links below to sign up today. The fourth thing to invest into are businesses. Now, in the previous sharing of how I actually lost $100,000, that was via a small business setup, which is actually an ice cream store. While it cost me a lot of money, that also taught me a big lesson in life. It is true that only 10% of entrepreneurs succeed and 90% will fail. If you happen to be like me, as the 90%, you take away valuable lessons. In your 20s and 30s, you can afford to lose, not like in your 50s. On the other hand, if you're lucky enough to be the top 10%, you can become actually financially free very early. This is a story about Jeremy, who is the founder of Personal Finance Club. He's actually shared before that he sold his internet company at the age of 34 for millions and became financially free. If you don't try, you'll never know, correct? And I'm not encouraging you to dive into businesses blindly. Do proper research first, and more importantly, I would suggest don't be a sleeping partner in a business, because that's actually worse than investing into equity markets, for example. If you're not going to business, be an active contributor. That is when actually the business lessons will fall with you, because you pour your blood, sweat and tears in it and you become wiser. And as a last point, please don't join MLM. That doesn't really help you in your financial freedom journey. So far, we've covered 4 items already, and let me recap, which is invest into education, invest into cryptocurrencies, invest into equity markets, and invest into businesses. And with that, I'd like to source out stories. If you have tried and failed in either of these, let me know in the comment sections below, because again, when we share our stories, we help others. That is the best thing that we can all do. Let's go on to point number 5, which is invest into your own CPF. Now, I've actually this previous video that I don't believe CPF, enhanced retirement sum, is that much of a big deal anymore with high interest environment. Interest rates might start dropping, correct? That best advice could change in 2024 or 2025. For what I see, CPF is not really an investment because there are no investment lessons to take away. It's an investment to compound monies in a very guaranteed manner. Investing to CPF is very powerful, especially if you draw high income. Do note again, if you contribute 8,000 to your special account or MediSave account, you can get tax relief for it. As always, terms and conditions apply, and check out some of my previous tutorials that discuss on them. The 6th thing to invest into is into SRS, which is Supplementary Retirement Scheme. All Singaporeans, PRs, and foreigners who derive income from Singapore can actually make SRS contributions as long as you are at least 18 years old and not an undischarged bankrupt. SRS accounts are managed by our 3 local banks, DBS, OCBC, and UOB, and you can have only one SRS account at any one time. I started my SRS journey in 2010 when I was only the age of 26, so that's way earlier than many. Back then, there wasn't so much financial information to share on financial literacy. And as always, if you have benefited, smash the like button so we can reach a bigger audience together, because I had to read all details myself last time to get started. And in my journey, I also realized that SRS in many ways more flexible than CPF SA top-up, which I've covered in this previous video. So look out for it to learn a bit deeper, and I'd like to highlight the main mistake which many make, which is to invest in the SRS account and yet leave the cash idling there. Let's look at this summary table. You would realize that as high as 21% of people actually leave funds idling in their cash balances. What are they doing? Don't they know it's 0.05% only? Unless this is war chest cash. If not, I'll strongly suggest to be more aggressive with your SRS because typically you have a long-term horizon and you will be rewarded with a more aggressive investment approach. Again, find a style that's suitable to your risk appetite. With that, let's move on to the seventh thing to invest into, especially if you're in your 20s and 30s, which is something that I'm not a big advocate of right now, but it has made many Singaporeans rich, and that is in properties. If I touch my heart, I would say that home ownership has been the easiest way to build wealth in the last 10 years. I understand it. I've seen many who cash out on their BTOs and ECs with a few $100,000 in gain. I'd like to highlight firstly some mistakes because I've been through many discussions with private clients, and it starts with avoiding a big mortgage loan that you can't afford. Property is again a cash flow game. Make sure when times are bad, when you have retrenchment or you're taking a sabbatical, you can still settle your mortgage with no stress. The second mistake is to avoid big renovation loans. That goes to say because renovation, each and everyone have our own preferences. You renovate it nicely doesn't mean you can sell it higher. And the third is to avoid buying overseas properties because more often than not, they are subject that many of us don't have much expertise in. So with that out of the way, let me highlight to you what you can do if you're a young adult in your 20s and 30s. Firstly, if you buy a HDB flat and you qualify for HDB loan, do note it's 2.6% only. That is way cheaper, correct, than treasury bills which pay you 3.7%. So you can actually leverage on cheap loans and start getting exposure to the property sector. Maybe by what I say the next few years is a bit bearish for properties, but if you see 10 or 20 years, I'm also in agreement that properties will only go up. The next is to use properties to generate rent income. If you understand MOP, which is minimum occupancy period, you would understand that you can actually do room rentals as soon as you purchase it and live inside. Read up on the market conditions then and read out on the rules. Be familiar because as I mentioned in this previous video, this is how I'll invest if I'm earning $6,000 a month and it relates to this entire discussion. I'll give you a blueprint on how to become financially free. How about that? So as always, check that out and check out our sponsor today, Mumu, if you're looking to open a trading account. Your